Hey guys, welcome to yet another episode of Code Way Too Easy. So it's been a minute. If you look at the video that we last did, it's been quite a minute. So I'm back at it, guys. Thank you for sticking in. We had some people join the class, the free version. So congratulations, guys. Reach out to me if you have any questions. You know how to reach me. Just leave me a comment here on the videos, or you can email me, which is also provided in the channel webpage as well. So anyway, guys, we're going to continue with coding. You remember last time we were playing around with Golang, or Go language, programming language known as Go. Today we're going to go into Python again. A programming language is nothing more than just a tool that we use to accomplish something. So today we're going to talk on two topics. We're going to talk about if statements and for loops. Very important concepts in programming in order to get stuff done. And we're going to go into a quick example. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you, and we'll jump right into the fun stuff. All right, so let's go like that. Wait for it to start sharing. Perfect. We're about to get into it, guys. So really excited. So we'll talk about Python today. Let's go to Google, and we're going to use our favorite website, Replit Python. And it's just so we're going to create a Replit. You can do this without having to do this, but anyway, let's go ahead and create Replit. Again, I'm Jimmy España, and thank you for joining us at Code Way Too Easy. And we have a premium version where I will help you land a tech job if that's your desire, help you with resume, get you up to speed with some coding stuff. Or we have the free version where you can just learn about coding, and I also will support you in what ways I can, of course, going for the course material. But anyway, more details on the premium will be coming soon. Haven't quite set up the payment thing, and it's not going to be expensive. It'll be like $5 a month, or I'm not sure yet. But anyway, let's go into this. So what is an if statement? So if statement checks for a condition. This is what we call a Boolean. A Boolean is a true or false statement. So we're going to create a variable. I'm going to call it variable ABC. I'm going to set it equal to the number 10. All right, that's just an example. We have a container. Our variable is like a container. It has a name and it stores a value. So it stores, in this case, the value 10, and it has the name ABC. All right, so now we're going to do an if condition. So if ABC is equivalent to 5, colon, again, the syntax from language to language is a little different. This is Python that we're programming in. Then we are going to print out a message to the user on the screen here on the right, and it's going to say, sorry. Actually, it's going to say, yes, that variable or that container is indeed equal to the number 5. Now we'll put another case where we'll say else. So this is an if and else block. So if this condition is true, then print this. For anything else, we're going to do the following. We're going to print the statement. Sorry, that number you entered is not equal to 5. All right, so that's it, guys. This is very simple, very simple. And again, computers, they execute code sequentially for the most part, step by step. So if we look at line 1, nothing is done here. Line 2, we create a variable, called it ABC, and we set it the value equal to 10. Then line 3, we do nothing. Line 4, we check for a condition, a Boolean, true or false. If A and B, C, which we know has the value 10, is it equal to 5? If it is, then we're going to print out the statement. Otherwise, we're not going to do that. So we're going to go to this block of code, the else block. And then in this case, we're going to say, oh, sorry, that number you entered is not equal to 5. So the expectation is that this piece of text here will be printed here on the screen here. So let's run it and see what happens. So as we expected, sorry, that number you entered is not, it should, again, you can't see it right here because this icons are blocking, is not equal to 5. Okay, perfect. So we did good there. Now let's run this again, but let's set this equal to like 4. What is the expectation, you think? Let's run it and see what happens. And again, it prints the same thing. Sorry, that number you entered is not equal to 5. Now let's set it equal to the number 5 then. So variable we've updated to 5. We run it, and lo and behold, we get a new message. Yes, that variable is indeed equal to 5. So that's an example, very simple, simplistic example of an if statement. If else block of code. We have a variable. We're checking for a condition. Is it true or false? And we proceed accordingly. Now let's talk about the for loop. The for loop, it will be displayed in the following manner. So we're going to get rid of this, and I'm going to create what we call in programming a list or an array. So we're going to have an array, or it's like a list of numbers. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. So what I'm going to do in this case, I'm going to make a use of a for loop. For I can be anything. It's just a variable for, let's call it item. For item in ABC. So for each item in ABC, ABC is an array. Inside this array, we store several values. That's why we call it a list or an array. We call it, and we have the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, separated by commas, and that's how we distinguish which item we're talking about. So for each item in ABC, we are going to print. We're going to print that item out. So the value of that item. So as you would expect, it's going to iterate, or it's going to go through each of these items in this array, thanks to the for loop, and we're going to print that out to the screen. Let's see what happens. So lo and behold, we're not surprised. We get the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 printed. Now let's make an extra complexity into this situation. So I only want to print the numbers if the number is divisible by 2. In other words, it's an even number. So what we can actually do here is put an if, like we learned just previously, an if statement. And if the item that we're currently looking at is module. Module is a operand in math, so to speak, or even in programming language, that we mod 2. So if it's divisible by 2, and the result of that is equal to 0, equivalent to 0, then in that case we are going to print out the item, the number, in this case, right? So we would expect 2 and 4 to be the only numbers that get printed out. So let's go ahead and run this and see what happens. And lo and behold, yes, we got a number 2 and a number 4. So it didn't skip number 1, it didn't skip number 3, it didn't skip number 5. It simply, when it arrived to this if statement, it checked to see if number 1 is modulo 2. Does it have a remainder of 0? It doesn't. It doesn't. It did not divide easily by 2. We're not left with a remainder of zero. So in that case, we don't execute this. So we just loop around back to the top of the for loop. We get the next item, item 2. In this case, so item is now 2, mod 2. That does equal 0. Now we print that statement. Then we work our way back to the top of the for loop. We take 3. 3 is our new item. 3 modulo 2, does it have a remainder of 0? No, it doesn't. So we don't execute this statement here. So we go back to the top. Now we have 4. So you see, we are still iterating through each item in the list or the array, and we're only printing out that information if it's divisible by a certain by 2. So what if happens if we change mod 1? So the expectation is that we're talking about odd numbers, I believe, if my math is right. So let's see what happens here. Oh, that's right. That's silly of me, actually. So yeah. So actually, every number is the modulo 1, right? Every number is divisible 1. But what if I want to get the odd numbers? Then what is it that I have to do? I had 2 here. I had 1. Let's try 0. Let's see what happens when we do 0. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. We cannot divide by 0. My mistake. So let's see if we can put this like mod 3. Let's see what happens here. Of course, only thing modulo. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting confused. I'm hitting the wrong side. So what I wanted to do is print every odd number. So what we can do is leave this the same. But what we can do is check to see if there's a remainder of 1. So if we do that, in that case, we are checking for the condition that the number that we're analyzing is indeed an odd number. So I'm sorry, I have to refresh on my math skills. But again, anyway, we did accomplish what we wanted here. We wanted every odd number to be executed. So I know that was a quick video. These videos are intended to be very quick and short and concise, to the point. Refer to the previous videos if you have any questions, but we talked about instructions, what coding is. It's just nothing more than instructions sequentially that the computer follows. We have container, or a variable that's a container that has a name and has a value that you can store inside it. We've talked about if statements, if conditions, where we check for a certain condition. If it's this is what we call Boolean. If it's true or false, we do something, otherwise we don't execute that part of the code. We've talked about a for loop that we just did. We also provided other examples in the other videos about the different programming language accomplishing the same stuff, but using a different programming language, which of course has a different syntax, but the ideas are very similar. So I hope you understood pretty well the concepts of the if statement and the for loop. We can use them in conjunction like we just did here, or we can use it on a separate basis like we did on the first example. So guys, this is Code Way Too Easy. I am Jimmy Espana, and thank you for joining, and hope to have more videos like these and that are helpful. Let me know in the comments what you'd like to see. If you have any questions, I'm here for you. And thank you for your attention. I'll see you guys on the next Code Way Too Easy episode. Thank you and goodbye.